the 24th of January, 2025. I'm John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association, here with my wonderful wife, Laura, there. And I can see a couple other smiles here, and I can see some smiles behind some of the scenes there. So anyway, welcome. Let's see, we're here to network, share deals. I guess we can, I don't really have any announcements today per se. We're still kind of waiting to see on the CTA, the Corporate Transparency Act. There's some other stuff going on. I did just get a email on somebody's having a webinar on that coming up here. I could, if anybody's interested, I can put that in there. We will have Catherine Davis back the first week in February, first Friday. So she'll fill us in. I know they've been back and forth on a lot of that kind of stuff. So if you haven't filed, I know right now we're kind of on a standby. If you have filed, it wasn't, like some of us did, it wasn't really a big deal, but it's just stuff that I don't think they need to know, but it doesn't matter what I think. So anyway, so Laura, you want to go ahead and give us our disclaimer so we can get started here?
Sure. And I also did see Vina Vina posted on the that CTA or whatever that it's on again. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Good morning and welcome everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have and need. There it goes again. Can you hear that? We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have and need with our real estate. We're not your financial advisors or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, Laura. Not sure what you were doing with your music there. So I don't know if anybody can hear that but you, but anyway. All right, well, welcome. Good to see everybody. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot of announcements. We're just here to network today. So does anybody have anything they'd like to start us off with? Anybody got anything they that they're looking to buy or anything they got to sell? We usually have some people that have some things that they want to sell as well. So anybody? I see Stacy joined us there with her smile. You've been doing any more videos, Stacy?
No, actually, Dave told me that you suggested I should do some in the snow, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And then I never did it. Now it's just mainly, leftover ice. But I do actually, so I'm a licensed realtor. I do have a listing coming up. We're doing a little bit of work and getting it cleaned up and then probably staged. It's going to be a loft downtown. The building does allow rentals. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath. I'm not sure exact square feet. I will know it obviously when the listing's live, but over 1,000 square feet. Traditional loft style, open floor plan. It's got exposed brick, exposed ductwork, and a pretty cool building downtown. It's in Lucas Lofts. It's unit 708. So it's the top floor. The only thing above it is the rooftop, which they have like a community rooftop with a little splash pool and some grills and a cool view of downtown. It comes with one secure basement garage parking spot and storage unit. It's going to be listed right under 160. So it'll be coming on the market here in the next couple weeks. If anybody's interested, before we get it staged and professional photos and stuff, might be able to let you swing by and take a look at it. But yeah, that'll be coming soon. And then I'll also just talk about our property management. I'm Stacy Lowe. Typically my broker and boss Dave's on the call. He had eye surgery, so he's going to be out for a little bit. He had like a torn retina or cornea or something. I'm not sure. So he's gonna be out for a little bit. But we're with Soto Property Solutions, and we primarily do property management. I am licensed. Dave's a broker. We do have a handful of other licensed agents in our office. We have one office in Cape Girardeau and then one in St. Louis. We're really looking to grow our St. Louis business. We'll take new clients in Cape Girardeau as well. So if you have any investment properties and you're looking for property management, please reach out to me. I'd love to, have some coffee or hop on a Zoom with you and discuss everything. We do everything for you from start to finish. All the marketing, the photos, all of the maintenance, all of the accounting. We screen any potential tenants, which we're pretty strict on that. We know all the rules and the regulations and what it comes to doing things with the right steps when it comes to tenants and landlords. So give me a call. I'll put all my info in the chat as well. But my email, Stacy, STACY at SOTOPS.com. And then my office line 636-305-3380. And I am extension 311. Thanks.
Thank you, Stacy. I just had a question. You said that Lucas Loft is the one you have coming up there?
Yes, that's correct. So
Okay.
it's the building has 3 different addresses. Like it's already, it's already a little confusing if you don't know downtown and lofts very well. But the entrance is if you're familiar with downtown St. Louis, where Flamingo Bowl is, the bowling alley, the entrance is directly behind Flamingo Alley's entrance. So Flamingo Alley's entrance is on Washington. If you go right behind, it's Lucas Avenue. It's really more of an alleyway. There's Lucas Loft's entry, and then there's the garage door to go down to the basement parking that they have there. So if the easiest way to get to that entrance is 1114 Lucas Avenue, and it's unit 708. So it's on the top floor.
That sounds real interesting. You said that is available to rent also.
They do. They have some restrictions, like it has to be a 12-month lease. They don't do Airbnbs or midterm rentals. But a standard long-term tenant, they will do those. You just have to let the HOA know. And the HOA management is Century Management, and I've been pretty impressed with them. So
do you have any idea what the HOA fee is per month?
I think it's $313. I can tell you in just a second. I actually just got all that info back. I know it's right above 300.
Okay.
And that covers the parking, water, sewer, trash, basic electric and cable.
Ooh, wow.
And then, the hallway cleanings and the elevator maintenance and the rooftop and all that stuff. It is $314. Yep.
And that covers some electric also and cable?
Our basic, so the units are all electric. There's no gas. And the you get basic cable and internet provided through your condo fee.
Wow. Okay. And you said that would be about 160 when it comes on the market, but it's not on the market yet, correct?
Not yet. Yep. I just I just got keys yesterday and just went down there with a vendor this morning. So I'm in the process of getting it all on the MLS. But if anyone's interested in a private tour, I can take you down there before we even get it on the market. And that would be ideal if someone wanted to buy it before we put in all the legwork.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a great opportunity. And you want to give your contact information one more time, please? And then if you mind, put in the chat.
Yes, Stacy Lowe, and my email is Stacy, STACY at SOTOPS, which is Soto Property Solutions, .com. And then my office line 636-305-3380. And I am extension 311.
All right. Thank you. And we wish Dave well when you talk to him. Tell him, speedy recovery, and we wish him, everything comes back the way it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so once he gets recovered from this, he has to have shoulder surgery too. So back to back. Yeah. So I'm not sure when he's going to be fully back in the office yet, but hopefully soon, because I know I need him.
Well, he's fortunate to have you in the meantime too. So
Yes, thank you.
maybe you can give him a cheer up video or something, maybe without the snow.
Yeah. Well, since he's got his eye patch, maybe I could do a pirate one or something.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, just don't give him a wooden leg or a wooden shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Good opportunity for somebody. Always fascinated with the lofts. I've seen some really creative ones, and that's I know that takes a certain kind of person to live there too. So very good.
Yeah, downtown's a different ball game, but it is nice. I mean, you can walk to the gym, you can walk to the grocery store, you can walk to the Cardinals game. So that's really convenient to be able to walk most places as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have anything they would like to, I guess, sell? We could stay on that. Anybody have anything that they would like to sell out there? I see Ryan's there. Did you get anything done with your Illinois property? Is that still available?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's still available. I am working on the drawings right now for the laundromat side, and then I've been back and forth for the last 2 or 3 days with a couple potential buyers. So it's I'm pretty grateful for that. I think it has a lot to do with being on these Zoom calls really, and then yeah, and so I'm right now I'm just trying to figure out what which direction to go. I have a contractor coming in this weekend to take a good look at it. He's one of the best in the area. So looking forward to having a conversation with him about what's doable. And then if I take this on, I'm going to develop this, then I'm going to run all the numbers and then go ask for some private money from somewhere.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity. I'll tell you, I know you're a little long distance, as far as from the property right now. Are you planning on, if you do take it on yourself, are you planning on maybe coming back this way to get a little
Well,
closer?
I'm from the area. I have family in the area, and it's kind of like I can't really work through them, but it's my one tie, and as long as I can get it successful, low maintenance, um, it's something like a laundromat, then I don't feel so bad about being 5 states away. But I prefer to have my money down here where I can go see it and where I can go, swing some hammers and clean up and all that myself. But yeah, I think if with the right people, I can. I don't see me losing anything with this building. This is the interesting thing, right? We talked about this before. I can always sell it to the firehouse if I just go down enough in the number. I can always sell it to next door because they want to expand, you know. So I don't think I'm going to lose anything on this. It's just whether I want, the if I whether I want the headaches associated with tenants here, you know. Um, I'd love to do another contract for D with somebody local. Let just them do everything, just so we'll see. I'm almost there. I made a lot of good conversations. I got drawings to do and a couple cost estimates, and then we'll go from there. I think I gave you before an update on my brother's building in 612 West Gallatin, and we have a conversation with a few people in that building too. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, and things are going to start opening up a little bit too. I know, this time of year, especially when the weather is not real favorable, a lot of people just kind of sit back and don't get out there. But once people start getting out a little bit, I think you'll have a lot more activity on there, also.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so that sounds good. And did you want to give your contact information so anybody
Sure.
might be interested in finding out more about it?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Kaiser, 630-334-3433. And email, I'll put it here in the chat, r.kaiser@familytimeproperties.com. Kaiser is spelled Keiser.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Yeah, wish you well on that and can't wait to hear your progress.
Appreciate it.
Glad to see you every week and you're still smiling about it. I know sometimes they get discouraging, but if you just hang in there, that's the main
What else can I do, John? Really, what
Right.
else can I do, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you and can't wait to hear more about it.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We got, okay, Stacy's got her. Yeah, if you could put that in chat, that'd be great. We've got, looks like Terri Brown. Terri, are you with us there? You could, I know we met, back actually a few months ago now. You're with the St. Patrick Center. Feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Okay, I basically good afternoon or good morning, everybody. And I basically put some information into the chat, my work cell, and also my email address. And one of my main things that I do is I try to develop new landlords to work with our clients that come through St. Patrick Center. So we have close to 30 programs. We have various type of voucher programs, various types of programs. And so mainly what I do is just try to meet with each landlord one-on-one, kind of tell them, walk them through like some of the things that we do, how the voucher programs work. So it's really best practices. That way landlords kind of know exactly what we do, how it's done, and, just kind of give them an overview and walk them through the process. So it's really a good way to do things because then landlords have the opportunity to ask questions. I'm like the liaison between the landlords and St. Patrick Center. So if they ever have any questions or concerns, they can always reach me and I'll always email or call back. So if anybody has any questions, feel free.
All right. Thank you, Terri. And if you don't mind mentioning your contact information audibly also, so anybody watching the replay could jot that down, that's usually helpful too.
So my work cell is 314-400-1419. My email address is tbrown@stpatrickcenter.org.
Thank you. And I didn't realize you had 30 programs. That's quite a bit, Terri. Do you mind maybe walking us through one of those, just see how that would work? You say you're looking for new landlords. And we do have new landlords. We also have a lot of existing landlords, with our group here. Do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about what, maybe not all 30 of the programs, but maybe just something that might be typical of what we would expect to work with you on?
Okay, so we have about 6 veterans programs. We have what you call rapid rehousing, where it's not really a voucher, but it's funding to help the client kind of get started, first and last month's rent, short-term case management as long as they're in that program. Even if, say, for example, even if a person comes in and they're unemployed, we would sign the lease for the client, wean them off, pay rent, provide case management, kind of get them back on track. And then one of the other programs in the veteran programs is called TIP, Transition in Place, and that's one of our master leasing programs. If a manager says or a director says, okay, I need a 4-family flat that are 1 bedrooms, and so they would pay the security deposit, just kind of pay the whole rent and everything to hold on to those 4 units until they have a veteran. And so they put the veteran in the apartment, and so he transitions in place. So that's where he would live at, and they would pay the security deposit, the rent, provide case management. I'm not sure how long that case management would last, but I would imagine it would be until the person is, ready to just transition in place independently. So
Okay.
that's kind of one thing. So we have a lot of different voucher programs too.
Well, that sounds great. How long does the vouchers normally last? Do you have any idea?
So with permanent supportive housing, shelter plus care, those are lifetime programs with the lifetime case management, as long as the client has the voucher. So how it typically works is you'll have the state or federal government will pay 70% of the client's rent, and 30% the client would pay. And then they also would pay one of the utilities. And like I said, case management, which means that helps them to sustain, independent housing. And it depends on the client when they were in the program, like how long, like the case manager may go in once a week or twice a month. It just depends on, how they were in the program. So if something came up when they were in that unit, they could always, their first contact would be the case manager. to try to, kind of see what's going on. So that's one of them. I mean, I could just go on and on, but that's kind of an overview, like of a couple of voucher programs, permanent supportive housing and shelter plus care. And HUD VASH is like for veterans only, and that's the same thing, 70/30, one of the utilities, and lifetime case management, as long as they have the voucher.
That sounds like some good opportunities, and you have 30 programs. That's amazing to me. I didn't realize that. Now, this is in St. Louis. Is this only for the area, or does this cover anything outside of the St. Louis area also, Terry?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be getting to that area, but I get so many calls, and it's just like really a lot going on. But yeah, I have some landlords that are way out. I can't even think of the name of the municipality, but they have a lot of affordable apartments out there. So yeah, I can work with probably anyone, but preferably not like in a different state. But I mean, who knows? But yeah, we work with all kind of clients from different areas and landlords as well.
Good. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. And for anybody out there looking for, well, the voucher programs I know work real well as far as that goes. And I know that you have a process, so it's not just anybody. I know you have like an application process or, guidelines that you go through. So this is, these are good programs. So anybody that would like to get a hold of Terry, might be very beneficial for everyone there.
Yeah, there is definitely a process because I get a lot of calls, but I ask a lot of questions. I try to find out the area, make sure it's bus accessible. There's grocery stores. Are there any vacant buildings around? Not saying that we won't rent to the landlord, but just kind of want to know kind of what's going on and what's around there, what the property looks like, things like that, and just kind of find out what the landlord's mission is. Why do you want to work with St. Patrick's Center? What are you interested in doing? Do you want to help end homelessness and be part of the solution? Things like that.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. And you've got your contact information as well in the chat. So very good. Thank you. And let's see. I see Stacy put the information on the loft in there also. Very good. Thank you. And then let's see, Ryan, you got your information in there too. Very good. Thank you. And Ryan asked for your number. Yeah, let's see, she put it in there, 314-400-1419. So excellent. All right. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us? Anybody got anything else for sale or anybody looking for anything?
I might have
Anybody?
one thing.
Yeah, sure.
My brother has been interested a long time into RV parks and also the good hunting ground for giving people hunting rights and et cetera on there and bringing clients into a good hunting ground. Right now he hunts in Jerseyville County, just north of St. Louis, across the river. If anyone runs into that and knows somebody who's holding land on the east side, we'd love to talk with somebody.
Okay, and that's mainly in Illinois you're looking for, is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, it certainly would look in near St. Louis, but I think it'd probably be easier for us if it was on the east side.
Sure. Okay. And is there any certain amount of land you're looking for?
I think probably as small as 40 acres timber. Not all timber, it doesn't have to all be timber, but ground that's not necessarily farmable, which you see across the river north of Alton, I think it's Jersey County. I can't remember what county that is. Yeah, we'd love to talk to somebody.
Okay, so mainly for deer hunting, then it sounds like.
Right.
Okay. All right. Very nice. So there's a good opportunity if somebody's got some land. I know years ago, the land over there used to be fairly inexpensive, but I know over the last few years, everything seems to have gotten a lot higher out of the city. So, but there's still opportunity, still people that's owned property for a long time. So, oh, very nice. Okay. Anybody else have anything you'd like to share with us today? Good conversations. Anybody working on anything that they may need, got a question on or anything? Everybody got everything they need up to date? No broken pipes with the cold weather, or guess we don't have to worry too much about snow removal right now, at least this week. That could change. I know we still got some ice out here where the sun hasn't been on it yet. But I'm
John,
glad.
John, I'm one of those areas where you get an inch of snow and it just everything shuts down. You know, everything shuts down but a Waffle House. You know, I don't know what it is about Waffle House, but they just will stay home, stay open forever, you know.
They got
Great.
waffles and coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting business.
Yeah. Yeah, we noticed a lot of our friends down to the south got some snow unexpected that they haven't had ever in some of the places, which was very unusual. Seen in some parts of Florida and even Houston. We got relatives down in Houston, and they don't have shovels or nothing. They're out there with their brooms, and you know, I guess it's kind of fun for them not to, you know, because they don't have it all the time. But I don't know. It's just very unusual what we got going on right now. So anybody else have anything? Are everybody ready to go to the Waffle House?
Linda, did you ever get that taken care of, like that car in the garage and all that tenant?
For now, I gave up on the car because dealing with the house and the car at the same time was becoming overwhelming. So right now I'm just dealing with the house and getting the renovations on that done. And then I will tackle the car. So yeah, thanks for asking. It's been a challenge. But yeah. I got some input on the car, and I might only be able to get like $5,000 for the car because you have to get a mechanic's lien, and no matter what the age or condition of the car, if it's a mechanic's lien, it's only worth $5,000. So yeah, that's where we are.
Well, we wish you well on that, Yolanda, and
Thank you.
I actually, I appreciate your stamina hanging in there, because a lot of people get discouraged on this type of stuff. But you'll get through there. You'll learn lots of lessons, and you'll have a good story too. A lot of things you can help a lot of us with.
One lesson is never rent to someone who is not currently in their own place. So that's one lesson. This tenant was living with her brother, and I know why now. So yeah, that will never happen again. Because, you know, one of the things they tell you in Section 8 is, and not that she was Section 8, but I have some other Section 8 tenants, and Section 8 tells you to go where they currently live and
Yes.
see how they live there. That is how they will take care of your place. And that is, I have found that to be very true. I've been able to make some very good decisions and choices based on that method.
That's such a great point right there, Yolanda. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with you on that. Something that, you know, a lot of us learned the hard way. And the other thing that I've learned too is look at their car when they pull up. You can tell a lot by how they take care of their car, and if it's their car, if they're riding with somebody else. So you'll have more stories on the car coming up, I know, for us.
Yeah,
So,
I will. Absolutely.
yeah. So we wish you the best on that, and just
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing all that with us. So that's, and
You're
that, I hope
welcome.
everybody takes notes on that too, to look at their place they currently live. It is well worth driving by. I didn't do that one time that I wish I did. And she, of course,
Mhm.
when I did find out where she lived before, it was exactly the same. There was no difference other than I probably had more junk in my place
Yeah.
and more leaks because they do tear up stuff too.
Yes, they do. Yeah. I don't think this woman vacuumed the carpet the entire 6 years she was in the house. Yeah. I took up the carpet. It was just full of, oh, it was horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah, those are tough lessons to learn, and it's just something that we do learn from because you don't want to go through it more than once.
No,
You know?
no, you don't.
Yeah. So there's a very, very valuable lesson. So thanks for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And one thing I want to add too with clients, well, especially like with Section 8, there's really no case management, but with all of the other voucher programs, there is case management. And we with our agency, we have mitigation funds. So if there's damage, as long as we have the funds available, we can help with that if it's beyond the security deposit. And then we want to be careful not to put all clients in one box because not all clients do that. I'm not going to sit here and say that that doesn't happen because that would be dishonest. But yeah, we have to be careful not to say all clients do that because that's just not true.
Very good point, Terry, because it is easy to, kind of stereotype people and think, that just because they're coming from a certain area or a certain, background that they would be the same. And that's not true. We've had Section 8 people that were just great for many years. And then we've also had some that were good for a while, and then, things happen. They have relatives move in with them for different reasons and things, and they change. My experience with Section 8, though, it's been pretty good, and I don't know all your 30 programs that you have, Terry, with St. Patrick's Center, but I'm sure that you have a lot more, to look at than just the regular Section 8 program, because they have their guidelines and the way they do things, with their vouchers. And I'm sure that you have different ones that to look at different things. So it's really great having your experience here and your background too to help us with that, with some of that.
Yeah, I love Section 8. Like I said, I've had others in the past and great experience. It was just this one person who was not Section 8, who I could not go to her home and check where she currently lived because she lived with her brother. That was the problem. It wasn't that it was Section 8, it was her.
Right. Yeah, that's such a good point too, because, as landlords, we only end up talking about the ones that don't work, the ones that go south on us and all that. And in reality, it's probably, not even 1 out of 10, I mean, it's probably
Yeah.
but they're the ones that cause us all the grief and the heartache, and we got to deal with all this stuff. It's not the other ones that are, because most people are generally good people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's always good to come here and share. I used to call this our real estate therapy, because we can come here on stuff with other people. It's not quite like AA, but maybe a little bit, in some of the ways, because you hear all the good, the bad, the ugly, and really, for the most part, most people are pretty good though. And we're here to share things, good and maybe not so good. So it's always a good place to meet, and this is how you find out stuff. It's better to find out the lesson before you have to teach the lesson. So thank you very much for sharing it with us. All right, anybody else got anything they'd like to share today? Anybody working on anything else unusual or anything normal that you're having any kind of things with? It's a good place to hear what other people are doing. Guess everybody's got their trees picked up from all the ice a few weeks ago. I know we had to cut some down to get to get out of our driveway. We couldn't get out of our driveway for about 3 days. But everything's pretty good now. I think we're supposed to warm up above freezing tomorrow, which would be good. Maybe we can get rid of the rest of the ice out here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we had the joy of, with my 4 partners, just a, a story, quick story. So, the building that I have with my partners, in North City, something keeps backing up in our basement. So we had, and we've replaced all the pipes. So we, but we had an issue with that. And, so we're probably going to end up, one of the furnace panels was fried, I guess. So our property manager's doing great with it. He, made sure that the tenants had space heaters until we could get someone out there. Make sure that they're not freezing. But we're probably gonna have to put all of the appliances on, up a little bit on brick or concrete or something, so that that doesn't happen again. And maybe, I mean, unless we can because I don't know how we can fix that with the fact that, if it's not our water lines, which we've replaced, when we were during the time that, the city was like, no, we don't replace anything. You have to do it all the way out, even all the way out to the street, into the middle of the street. So, but we know for a fact that those were, everything was replaced when we did the rehab. So that's going to be, one of our measures. We're probably going to have to buy at least one new appliance. And then we had a roof leak that I told everybody, because we had these terrible contractors, and the guy who did the roof, like, that's a long story, but we had a leak, and it was, dripping all the way down into the basement from the top floor. And I put a bucket under it, and then, they did all the work, but every time I asked, somebody to look at it, they were like, well, it's not leaking. I'm like, well, leaks don't disappear, like, I'm like, there's going to be a problem. They don't just dry up and disappear on their own. That's not how it works. So with the snow last week, I guess, the roof started leaking. So we have to, he's got a roofer out there as soon as possible to put up a tarp, and then we're gonna, figure out the roof repair. But, it's the positive thing is we have, a property manager we trust that, keeps an eye on the contractors to make sure that they do what they're supposed to. So, but, I don't think any of this it's definitely not going to be cheap. So, not fun, but, between the manager and I, we're thinking if we can get all this crap fixed, we should be pretty good for a little while, hopefully. So trying to look at it look at the positive side, but yeah, so it's a whole, as my friend says, you either have a good time or you have a good story. So but yeah, that's partially the weather and partially from, not hiring the right people to do the work in the first place. I knew it would come back to bite us later. But yeah, like, make sure you have a good team in place before you even think about rehabbing. That's my 2 cents.
yeah, great point, Renee. You either, what'd you say? You either have a good time or a good story? Is that how you put that?
Yeah, that's what my friend says. You either have a good time or you have a good story. Yeah.
Yeah. And the stories are better too down the road. You can have a good time with your good stories when you don't have to repeat it a lot of times.
Right. If you don't have, if you have a way to make sure that you don't repeat that, quote unquote good story, then it is a good time because you can laugh about it in hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times we appreciate not having the good stories. But you never know what you don't know until you come across it too. It's the same thing. And a lot of times they're, especially when you're, because you're kind of long distance too. You're out in the Boston area, and you got your properties here in the St. Louis area. So, it is kind of hard to be long distance and watch after workers. I know that's a lot more difficult because I've watched people do that across the country, different areas. So, it's very important to get the right people. And I know a lot of times we look at price, especially us as property owners, and price isn't always the best thing to have because a lot of times the best price will end up being the worst price when it's all said and done. So,
Right, which is where, in this, I know personally what not to do, but in this case, I had 3 other partners, so it wasn't 100% my, there were some people that I would have just said, you know what, let's not, let's find somebody but, and we tried to do everything unanimously, and it was like, well, if I had been able to say like, I have this other person that could do a better job, you know what I mean? Like that could do a better job to start the work, but it was like, basically like, these are the people we found. So, but now I know, like, if it's, the next time I buy something, it'll be the company of me, myself, and I, the LLC of me, myself, and I, and, I'll make sure to be making all the decisions and doing all the hiring. In the case of the 4-family, none of us probably would have been able to do it if it wasn't, by ourselves, which is why we decided to do it. And eventually I know this is going to be a good, income producing property. It's just taking a lot longer than we needed or wanted.
partners can be tough. You have to all be on the same page, and it doesn't always happen.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too, yeah, it's not just it's not, like we all think we all were on the same page about a lot of things, but it was like, 1 or 2 of the partners wanted to go with the cheapest thing and then would get burned. And I've seen them burned on their other projects now too. So, just because the most expensive doesn't mean that they're good either, but
Sure.
I know, like you don't know what you don't know. And so because of the fact that, the entry to buying property in St. Louis is a lot cheaper than the entry to buying property in Massachusetts, I will probably buy more eventually. Whether I'll just flip it and resell it, I don't know. But I know a lot more than I know now. And I also have a good property manager that can take a look at it before I, put down the earnest money and find out like, what's really going to be needed. So.
Yeah, you need some boots on the ground if you are long distance, and because it is a little tougher to travel, especially from your area. I mean, it's not something you can run over in the afternoon and take a look at.
Right. I mean, I've done day trips a few times, and luckily one of my close friends has been working for the airlines for the last year or so. So she basically gets me, it's like a standby flight, but usually I can get on, and it's, for the price of basically the price of the tax. So, like last time I went out and was able to come out for the lunch, and I think my ticket cost me like less than $200 round trip. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So I'm really, like they have like certain rules and you're not guaranteed a seat, but it's a pretty good deal, especially, since she's a very, very close friend and like family, but we're not technically, blood related. So it's a pretty nice perk and
Yeah,
very
that's very
helpful.
nice. Yeah, I used to work for Ozark Airlines many years ago, and there are some good advantages for that. What airline does your friend work for?
American.
American? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not sure how much longer she'll be doing that, but
Mhm.
she likes to travel too, which is why she got the job in the first place. But she
Very
said
nice.
she's tired of working, 4 a.m. shifts. So who
Yeah.
knows?
That's the thing with the airlines. You got to be there like 40 years before you get any seniority because people don't leave.
Right, exactly.
Mhm. So, well, that's good because I know I don't think I've ever spent only $200 with any American Airlines flights that I've ever been on.
No, even with what you call it, the one that goes there, Southwest. That's
Mhm.
the one that goes, and it used to be like if I got my ticket a couple of months in advance, I could get my ticket for under $300. And then like a year ago, it just started, going like ridiculous. even if you try, like, I would try to plan to travel the day, on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Sometimes if you go on a weekend day, so I try to do all of that, and, but it's definitely not, flights have gotten really expensive. Same with JetBlue, like they used to have really great, you know, great deals on flights if you booked way in advance, but now it's like an auction. So like if you have to rebook, it's like you not only have to pay the $50 rebooking fee, but it's like if you have to change something due to whatever, it's like the prices are completely different for every single flight and where they're going. So I'm like, it's like an auction. You call and they're like, well, there's this flight and the difference is another, $150, like.
Yeah, I know a lot of them too on the, like even with American, they only had on the $35 per bag. And I know last time when we just flew out to Orange County back in November, not only did they charge us for the bag, they also had a curb fee in St. Louis now that was something that was fairly new. So they charged like an extra, I think it was $7 just to check your bag in at the curb.
Oh
So
yeah, they've been doing that at Boston forever. It costs more to
Oh,
do that because it's so convenient and so much quicker.
it's crazy though. I couldn't believe that. And then, of course we tipped the guy too, but you have, the whole thing was just like, it was like $50 to give him our bags now.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
crazy,
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. So,
I don't check bags because I like to keep my stuff and not have it lost on, when I get there. So
yeah.
I do everything I can, even if I'm vacationing. I travel like a business traveler, and I try to like everything goes into a suitcase and a small suitcase and a backpack, including my purse. So
That's ideal if you can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I see. Tiffany, you got your hand up. You don't need to raise your hand. You can just unmute if you'd like to say something. Feel free.
Hello. I was wondering if anyone on here has any experience with zoning when it comes to commercial property. There's a piece of property that apparently has it where they're not supposed to build on it. So they're just kind of stuck with a little plot. And we're wondering if there's anything that we can do, if there's any recommendations or kind of where to start. Does anybody have any experience with that?
Where is the property, Tiffany?
It's in St. Charles County.
St. Charles County? Okay, and they're wanting to build something on it. Is that correct?
Yes. So we're wondering kind of what our options would be or where to start. I was just wondering if anybody had any experience where I might be able to give them some advice or at least point them in the right direction.
Well, zoning is a tough thing. St. Charles County, it's, to get variances on it, it's usually a lot to go through. I've not seen a lot of people having really good success doing that. Does anybody have any experience with that's on here today? Did they buy the property not knowing this, Tiffany, or was this something that they owned for a while, or
They've had it for a while and there's not anything that they can do with it. So we were just kind of talking about it, kind of brainstorming to figure out if there might be some other options or anything else that we may be able to do with it. If there's any kind of workaround or yeah, even if it would be, maybe a parking lot where it's not building a structure, if it has something to do with the height, maybe, but is there anything else that we might be able to do with it? So we're just kind of brainstorming and figuring out, hey, what are their options?
have you
Is there anything else that we can
spoken
do?
with your building department about what you would need to get a variance if you wanted to build something?
Well, right now we were just talking, like I was just talking with them about it, and I figured I could ask some people on here with some experience to see if they've dealt with any of this. I know a lot of people on here have more residential properties. I just thought I would ask.
Yeah, the first thing you should probably do, or they should probably do, is find out what it's zoned for. Because I mean, if it's zoned for, I don't know, like I haven't heard of a designation zoned for vacant land, but like that, I'm not an expert on zoning. But the first thing I would do is go to the building department and ask them what the zoning designation is if you don't know exactly what the designation is. if it's zoned residential, commercial, I don't know, open space, whatever it's zoned.
Yeah, we
Um,
can pull that up online. I just
Okay.
was wondering if anybody here had any experience going through that process with getting something changed or getting it being able to have something changed over to where they can build on a piece of land that currently has
Right.
it
Well, that's
restricted.
and that's what I'm telling you where to go to do that because I'm a
Right.
former fire inspector. So you know, the bureaucracy, your first order of business is to go find out what you need for a variance, if you need a variance, and what they might allow you to build with a variance.
Okay.
So that's the first place you should go is go to the building department for the city or the county, depending on, you know, exactly where it is, and find out. So you already know what it's zoned for, or?
They can pull it offline. I don't remember exactly how it's zoned at the moment. I just figured while I was on here, I would see if anybody had any experience with it in the area.
Okay, so yeah,
Thank you.
whatever that is. I mean, I don't have any experience like going to the zoning department in that particular area and getting a variance, but I know that that's like the first place that's the place that you start. You go to the building department, you find out what the zoning designation means and what's the process for getting a variance um, to do something else, and like what you might, like you said, height requirements. So they might only allow you to be, you know, whatever it is your building has to be under however many stories or whatever. But that would be your first place to start as to what they might allow you to do, because variances aren't guaranteed. And sometimes the building department will tell you that they will not allow it, but don't take no, you know, don't take the first no for an answer, because that's not, you know, um, they may have in their experience seen that it's not allowed, but there's several boards that you would have to go through. And possibly, you know, if it gets, you may need to consult an attorney at some point, but I would start with the department. And then I'll let anybody, if someone else has experience there, please feel free. I'd love to hear what their experience was.
Thank you.
What size is it, Tiffany, the property?
I believe it's less than an acre.
Less than an acre? And what is around there? What are the neighbors doing?
It's mostly commercial, but there are a few houses, and I want to say maybe less than a dozen.
Okay.
So there's
One of
both around there.
Okay, one of the things you may look at, just see what the neighbors are doing and what their zone for, but also a lot of times you could sell to the neighbors, you know, that's a lot of times a good, I don't know if they're looking at selling or what they're looking at doing, developing or whatever, but a lot of times you can sell to the neighbors and let them use the existing, you know, their existing zoning ordinance to do whatever they're doing, just to increase their stuff, you know, their actual area. So I don't know if that's an option or not, but that's something you may want to look at. But like Renee said, yeah, talk to the zoning and just see what's available. You might be able to do something, but if it's all commercial, I would maybe look at the neighbors.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if anybody else listens to the replay and they have any experience with it, feel free to reach out and share some advice. I'd
Yeah, do you
love to
want to
be able
give
to
out,
pass it on.
would you like to give your contact information to anybody that may want to speak to you with you more about it, Tiffany?
Sure. My cell phone number is 636-299-0085. And feel free to call and leave a message or, text or anything if I can't answer right away.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah, let's see, we miss anything here. Bruce wants some sand. He thinks we should break out the suntan lotion. So I don't think it's quite that warm out yet. And Andrea wants Terry's number. I don't know. Maybe you joined us late. Let's see. Terry's still with us here. Terry's number is 314-400-1419. Okay, and anybody else? Yolanda had to run, so we'll see you next time. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us today? A lot of good conversations, as always. We always have a good network meeting here. I don't really have anything else. If anybody else has anything, we are coming up in the hour. I guess we could say goodbye about 5 minutes early, but if anybody else has anything, this is a good time to share it. If not, I will have the replay up on YouTube by midnight tonight. It'll be on the STLREIA site it's usually by Monday by the time they get it up. I always make my rule by midnight, as some of you guys know, just to make sure I get it done before I go to bed. So appreciate everybody tuning in. If nothing else, we'll see y'all next week. So thanks, everybody.